Do you read me over?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. Hurrah! What's going on, everybody? Baby Friday night's eve. Goddamn, it's almost the weekend. Let me take a swig out of this amazing Colombian style coffee right here, which, by the way, in most regions of Colombia, we don't call it un café, we call it a tinto, which is not the strong stuff that you're used to at Starbucks. It's a little bit more refined, so to speak, and it's just for taste, and we drink it pretty much all day, all night. Anyways, we got a really good show today, and it's a subject I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time now, just over the last couple of years. But before we get into it, let's just get all the pleasantries out of the way. Hey, this show is brought to you by yours truly. I don't get compensated. What I do is I help veterans just like you and service members, as well as civilians, families, put strategies together so that protecting your assets, your monies, your business, your house, your things. And then on the side of that, we also put investment strategies so that you can sleep good at night. Maybe you want to send your kids to school. Maybe you want to, buy that amazing hot rod, cows, long-term, short-term goals. I do it all. I help veterans do that. And in addition to that, I also assist veterans with their VA claims and benefits, because it's important, folks. A lot of us, a lot of times, have gone many, many years without putting or filing a claim. And that's something that you're just basically shooting yourself in the foot, because these benefits you earn through and through. You know what I'm saying? So take the time. If you need assistance with that, that's something also that I assist you with. I don't charge you anything. All I ask is that, hey, once you get your compensation, let's implement some things so that way you don't just blow it on the next best thing out there, and that money doesn't grow or anything. So do something smart with it. So that's how I assist in putting the two together. So now's the time to file under the VA, under the PAC hack. There's a lot of good things coming out. I was going to bring if you haven't subscribed to the Disabled American Veterans magazine or their newsletter, it's a quarterly magazine. I highly recommend that you do. There's a lot of good articles. They do a lot of lobbying for us on there, and there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline, a lot of good changes. By the way, we just got a pay raise. I think it's been one of the largest ones in the last couple of years. So there's a lot of good things that are happening out there, and that I highly recommend that you get involved, because, look, listen, nobody else is going to advocate for us but us. So if you want to make changes, you have to, instead of complaining about it, like I do hear a lot of my own brothers and sisters complain about the system, but you don't do anything about it. Wouldn't it make sense to get involved and make the changes? Hey, look, I know change is slow. It's just like trying to turn. There's a saying that, in order to turn an aircraft carrier, I mean, it's very, very slow. The change just doesn't happen right away, if that makes any sense. So change is slow, especially with government entities, but that's okay. It's better than nothing, right? So get involved, do something, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And last but not least, if you like this show, I highly encourage that you like, subscribe, and follow, share me on all the other social media platforms, so that way we can get the word out to all our fellow brothers and sisters. And if you think that you can be, that you have something to say, and you have a story to share with the masses, let me be your platform. You want to be a guest on the show? I would love to have you. Love having guests. And if you want to get involved in the podcast game, let's go. Brian Coburn is the man to call. So give me reach out. And again, like I said, like, subscribe, and follow. Share me and follow me on all my other social media platforms. I am on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. I mean, you name it, except for Snapchat. I still haven't figured out what that shit is. I had it briefly, but anyways, that's another story. But yeah, make sure you follow me, okay? And because at the end of the day, we're all about, we can agree to disagree. At least we're talking, and that's what the show is all about: the Constitution, supporting its rights, the right to bear arms, and everything else that we get with that. So, with that being said, why don't we just kick it? Hey, look, and I'm not trying to pick a fight with, with entertainers and whatever else. I get it, okay. Especially in today's day and age where we have these mobile computers. I mean, shit, I have a little mini studio right here in my house, and everybody has all of a sudden has a voice, right? And the days of the big camera people being out there and all that good stuff, reporting the news. I mean, now you can report the news from anywhere and everywhere just by having a hotspot, a mobile phone. Maybe you're outside of the US, you need data minutes. Yes, I am. To some degree, okay. I mean, in a day and age that they're like, shit, you're gonna get canceled, right? But every time, every award season, the same stuff happens. These performers, they get on in front of the camera with millions of people watching, and all of a sudden they're on this soapbox where they think what we should believe. I mean, seriously, when did actors and entertainers become the moral high ground? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like these people have worse, scandals than just the average person. I mean, well, maybe not. I mean, if you're sat at a balcony in Medellin, Colombia, there's gossip and chisme going up. Yeah, I am gonna harass them a little bit. Why not? Hey, right? I mean, good. What is it? Ain't no bad as bad publicity, right? But these people get on their high ground, and I mean, is there a line really between crossing a platform or hijacking a stage that's meant for art? You're an entertainer. You're doing art. You're doing these things. You're not a news anchor and on all the, and even news anchors. I mean, look, I know I'm dating myself and I'm putting myself out there a little bit, but at the end of the day, I mean, I remember the days watching TV. I mean, none of this shit used to happen. I mean, there are some scandals here and there, but people just mind their own business, right? So I just want to cut through the noise and talk about why a lot of people, including veterans, feel like Hollywood has lost its sense of place. And celebrities they're really good at entertaining us, and God bless them for that. But do they owe us a political views? And we're just, dude, at the end of the day, look, I'm just trying to watch the fucking show. Okay. If when I was in the Marine Corps, I was, doing motor T stuff. I was, worrying about maintenance, readiness, and all this other bullshit. Dude, I just want to come home. Obviously, I don't drink anymore, but trust me. But fuck, I just want to have a beer, watch TV, and just kind of zone out just for a little bit before I gotta get back on ass and foot mode and yell at the kids so that they can clean their room, do their homework, and whatever other shit I got going for the day. You know what I'm saying? So, and let me triple threat vets has a huge aperture for instant information these days. Yeah, I get it, dude, 100%. So, so what was the original purpose of these shows? Hey, we're celebrating excellence in art in your line of work. Hell yeah, let's go. You did great. You Silence of the Lambs, if you remember that movie. Remember Wild Bill, the dancing scene that. Anyways, if you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, I highly recommend it. That scene is really cool. Anyways, so what happened to that mission? When do we like? I get it. Hey, state your quick point. whatever, hey, free this or whatever the case may be. But fuck, dude, it's like you go out there and now you're gonna teach me a lesson. It's like, oh my god, look, hang on, watch. Let me just do this so that way I don't roll my eyes into the back of my freaking skull. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, dog. I don't need to hear it. So, but the argument is that, I get it. Celebrities are people too. They have feelings. They have hoorah, semper fi, get some. you know I get it. You have feelings. You want to have a platform. I get all that. I get it. Or maybe you just weren't cuddle enough as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you were dropped a few times as a kid. I don't know. But look, we all have problems. I mean, and I'm not trying to get political here and there, but and by the way, truth be told, I haven't watched an award show shit for a long ass time. I mean, most of the time when I find out something happened in an award show is when my social media feed is just full of memes, that something that this, that. I did watch when Will Smith slapped the living shit out of Chris Rock. It's like, man, he slapped that dude so hard, the fucking zebra stripes fell out of Chris Rock from when he did Madagascar. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I felt like going up to him like, you got knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, and even then, so when that happened, I'm like, oh, because everybody was talking about it, and I'm like, hey, what happened? Let me go back, and then I saw the whole video, and just things like. So I haven't watched one of those shows, an award show, for a long time, for these reasons, because people just get on there and it's just like blah blah blah. I mean, hell, wasn't like what in 2000, was it like 2011, 2012 when even uh what's his name, not Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, he did a spoof on these people with the wrap it up machine, like, yeah, you hit the button and the music plays and whatever. It's like, dude, and just like Ricky Gervais said, hey, come over here, have your little speech, take your award, and get the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do your thing and just shove off. So you don't have to be, the whole point here is that, just it's your platform. I get it. And maybe you want to say something, just say it quick. But that doesn't mean that you have to like take the entire fucking show and this. It's like, dude, again, your job is just to entertain me. You play basketball. I just want to watch you. I could give a shit less. I mean, or maybe you do listen to some of these people. It's like, would you take life advice from freaking from Charles Manson or some shit? It's to that level, right? So, and talking about Ricky Gervais, I mean, he roasted just that. I mean, I still watch his whole monologue where he was just roasting, slaying bodies, Marine Corps style, left and right. I mean, and he stayed irreverent. I mean, and he called out the culture without getting on a soapbox. And that resonates a lot with people, because look, at the end of the day, again, going back to the whole thing is, you had a hard day. Maybe, hey, you know what? I think I'll watch the Grammys today, or maybe I'll watch the Oscars today. Okay, great. And it's like, hey, so and so gets on stage, and it's like, oh my god, here we go. And it's like, I don't give a shit. And it's like, could you imagine the Super Bowl? And I know the Super Bowl is coming up. Isn't it this weekend? I didn't even know that. I just found that out today. That's how disconnected from some of these things are, because it's just, imagine the Super Bowl in between because everybody watches it. I used to watch it for the commercials, but imagine the Super Bowl that in between, here comes a football player. It's like, oh, I believe that XYZ and that Marines should be eating instead of red crayons, they should be eating green, and because it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, I just want to watch you. I just want to watch you chase the ball, throw it to the other side. You guys, pummel the shit out of each other, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So, the whole point is that, you know, the dude was just being just like today. We're so we tiptoe around and walk on eggshells about anything. Now that's certain words are Yeah, yes, I get it. Certain words are offensive, whatever. But it's like, man, I mean, I remember when I used to say, man, this is fucking retarded, and I'm not saying it about anybody or whatever. I mean, if you even look at the meaning of the word, it has nothing to do with being derogatory. But now you can't even say that. It's like, fuck, man. It's like I'm running out. I'm running out of adjectives to describe something. And yeah, I get it. The basics, fuck, shit. But it's like you want us service members. We like to get creative sometimes when we're describing a situation or something of the sort, right? So when does speech become a sermon? It's like, do I? And I get it. I'm here. I also have a platform here that I talk, but I know I have people with different religious backgrounds, sexual preference, uh, political beliefs, whatever, and in the sense that, and I talk about everything. I mean, there's nothing here that everything and anyone. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever. And don't you don't even want to get me started on the whole I'm American this, American that. I mean, I am an American, period. Naturalized, whatever, legal. I am here. So, it's a double standard in my own opinion. So, like here we go. Like, for example, Billie Eilish, nobody lives on nobody's illegal on stolen land, and it's like, okay, lady, how about fucking, I mean, and everybody obviously has seen the memes where that she actually lives on this land that belongs to these these natives of that area, and so on and so forth. So, again, at what point does what you're saying out there, where you just diarrhea out the mouth, or you're actually saying something worth, that has some type of value? A lot of people, what I notice a lot of people today is that, just like when I have a conversation with my daughter, I know, well, she's not listening today because I don't see her throwing her comments on here, but at what point did we forget, or at least do our research before we open our mouth, insert foot, instead of just looking some stuff up? I mean, again, we use these mobile computers that we call phones for so much other shit, and instead of just researching history, reading some peer-reviewed papers, all this other stuff. No, it's much easier to just diarrhea out the mouth because you read it on some social media platform, or some news outlet, which either or one is loaded to the one side or the other. And again, I think the smartest people are the news people, man. I mean, those people, they know how to play with our emotions so well, and it's just done for ratings. Doesn't matter which, left, right, middle. Doesn't matter. They know how to talk, and it's all a numbers game, because at the end of the day, you're watching, you're hooked, and they're making money. That's their job. You consume that stuff. Just like social media, the more you're looking for bad stuff, or how to talk, or talk trash about an agency or whatever, that's all it's designed. The algorithms are designed to send you that shit just to nudge you, and you consume their stuff. So, but again, going back to what I was saying, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing with the idea, or the context, and it's about the venue and the context and the audience. Everybody there, and there's a huge movement right now with Hollywood where some people are just, yeah, it's just so, they're pushing this agenda, and it is because I'm here to tell you. Look, I grew up in a time. I didn't, obviously, I'm not that old. I didn't, I can't sit here and say, well, I lived in the golden age of televisions. When they brought in color, it was great on television. No, I mean, my time growing up watching television, and believe me, a lot of my generation, that's how we were fucking raised. We were raised in the 70s and 80s, and we were raised, we put in front, a TV, watch, whether it was Johnny Carson was aired at late at night, obviously, but watching, shows like Speed Racer, and syndicated shows from the 70s and things like Gunsmoke. And so that's how, I mean, watching Bionic Man, Bionic Woman, Bionic Dog. So I grew up in a time where, when you used to watch some of these shows and even some of these award shows, man, it was like great. Stars were dressed to the nines. They went out there, they said thank you, they were very grateful, this, that, whatever, and boom, done. But at what point was it that these people started just going off the rails, just whatever? I mean, I remember, and by the way, yes, I guess I'm that old now. I remember when I wasn't in the US yet when MTV launched, because that was in 1983. I came here in 85. And it was, but I did see the first MTV award show, and yeah, that, because that era and those people, yeah, they had their beliefs, and certain, maybe some of them used maybe a couple of seconds to say something, whatever, but it was done, I think, even still, even tastefully, not being just what people are today. So the whole point is that when I'm watching these, well, again, I haven't watched it in a while, but it's like, even when all these things started changing, it's like, dude, I this is what I signed up for. It's kind of like, hey, in the Marine Corps doing bullshit like Firewatch and other shit. It's like, man, I didn't sign up for this shit, right? So you're not an elected official, and this is in your office. This is in your news platform for you to just go out, and this isn't C-SPAN. I mean, that's what those venues are for, PBS, whatever. Use them for those things. Don't come here and hijack my the award show and just take it from everybody else, because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to kind of just survive and watch a show. I don't need you to teach me a lesson or try to swing me one way or the other. It's a fucking double standard, So celebrities, it's a double standard. These people criticize policies, and that they're so far removed from. It's like a pilot, and nothing against my fellow service members who are pilots, but it's like, look, my guy, you're up thousands of feet up in the air, and you just there, stick, boom, drop button, drop bombs, fire, blah blah. You're so fucking far removed from the flagpole. And you too. These people are worth. They're bitching about poverty and equality and whatever, and they're worth fucking millions of dollars, dude. Millions of dollars, bro. It's and then you're preaching me about inequality while you live in this multi-million-dollar house. You have stocks, bonds, securities. I mean, your future is set. Your kid's future is set. So it's like, who are you to preach to me about equality, whatever, when I'm just, when I'm just a small town girl living in my small town world. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, where do you get off, bro? You got millions of dollars, and you're trying to preach to me about certain things, and then you also talk about our police, our law enforcement agencies, whatever the case. Because look, at the end of the day, and again, I'm not trying to get into the whole politic issue, but legal is the word legal. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. So, I mean, does that mean that we should give breaks to criminals and murderers, child molesters, and all that stuff? I mean, they're people too, right? So, again, I'm not trying. I'm just making you think, so that way you look at the whole picture, and because at the end of the day, I don't need your double standards, and I don't need your noise, right? Because there's veterans, first responders, teachers, service workers. They don't get the stage, and they don't get to share that experience. There's homeless veterans. Excuse me. I mean, shit. Go to downtown LA, full of homeless veterans, right? I mean, it's one of the biggest homeless communities. Veterans, mental health issues. Why aren't we talking about them? Why aren't we talking about the children and the victims of in Epstein's Island? I mean, where was that noise? Nope. We just want to talk about some other bullshit that has nothing. How about human trafficking? How about talking about that? The realities of those things that happens every day, right? This isn't about silencing voices. It's about appropriate context. Yeah, and a lot of them are paid for their causes as well, and I get that. I mean, some people they money talks, bullshit walks. I mean, that was. I mean, I mean, that's. Do people still say that nowadays? I don't even know, but at the end of the day, there's even professional. Professional protesters. I mean, a lot, and that is true. It is a business, and this is way. I'm here to tell you this. This has been happening way before all this stuff that's been going on over the last couple of years. How do I know this? Because when I came back from Iraq, there was, and I'll tell you this story. There was this gentleman, this Hispanic guy. And because I knew it, because he served in Mac Project Head Start in one of the boards for a while, and I get it. The guy's son was killed his son was killed in combat, and I get it. He's got beef and whatever else. So he would go protest. This was still when W was still the president, and the guy would go protest the war, this and that. However, then he started showing up in other venues, and the guy was actually getting paid to protest. I mean, that was his sole job. So at one point, yes, I get it. He had a voice, he had a belief, whatever. But then it kind of changed to something different, and it's like, bro, that completely discredits you. And so if you believe in something, then believe in that and support that. But don't just fucking flip flop from one place to the other. And that's what a lot of these people do. You get on your stage, you get on your platform, you get on your soapbox, whatever, and then you go back to your glass castle, up in your cloud, no big deal, So, and a lot of you, most of you might have come from humble beginnings, but you quickly forget where the fuck you came from, and that's the issue. That's the issue that I have. A lot of people forget where they came from. You know what I'm saying? So the whole what do we want? What do I let's the blue collar guy, the guy who just came home and had a rough day. He just goes. First thing he does is go to the fucking refrigerator, grab a Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm not gonna say Bud Light because I have issues with that company since the whole what is it, Mulvaney? What the fuck is the dude who thinks he's a chick? Whatever. Anyways, I have issues with that company, but I have issues with a lot of fucking people. But at the end of the day, look, I just want to come home, Yeah, I want to watch it. If I want to watch the whole award show, I just want to celebrate talent. I just want to escape for a few hours, enjoy music. Hey, let's talk about your performance. Who's the best supporting act? This and that. Take your award, cry your tears. Great, get the fuck off. But I don't want to be preached on topics that are divisive. I mean, we're already divided enough. Uh, and the message sometimes, most of these messages like this, they're so disconnected. It's like, my guy, or hey lady, you're gonna go home here in just a second in your limo with your entourage, whatever, and eat food that I can't even afford, whatever the case may be. It's like, are you really? So and it's delivered in such a way that it just feels fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll use this again. I'm not using this as a political thing. However, Congresswoman, her AOC, she shows up. It was like the first or second year to this award, and this white dress painted red. I forgot, like entitled whatever, something like mocking rich people. That fucking dress was worth like $45,000, and it's like, really, you know what I'm saying? I'm just pointing out the obvious here. I'm just a Marine who was who turned wrenches for many years, right? Uh, I might not be the shiniest light on the Christmas tree, but I do have fucking common sense. You know what I'm saying? So you can have your opinion. That is the great thing about being an American, is that the Constitution gives us these rights to be able to express ourselves, right? And you can, and this is going back to a show I did last year. You can, when after, right after Charlie Kirk, yes, you can express your thoughts, whatever. But if it's a private venue and whatever else, they can deem like, hey, you know what? Thanks for you're expressing yourself, whatever. You're no longer welcome. Or hey, thanks for expressing yourself. We're no longer affiliated with you because our thoughts and beliefs don't line up with yours. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's a two-way street. So nobody's trying to silence anyone. It's just that the difference between respecting a platform and hijacking it, that's where people have issues. Because at the end of the day, people want to be entertained. They also want meaning. And the challenge is where and when you deliver that message. You know what I'm saying? So think about that for a second. So, like Ricky Gervais said, have your little moment. I mean, come to the stage, have your little moment, take your little award, shut the fuck up, and shove off. So, anyways, I think that's a pretty good spot to shove off, so to speak. So I'll just leave you with this. If you've been struggling and ruminating with dark thoughts, you're in a rough patch, you and you're digging yourself in a hole where you feel like you can't get out of, hit me up at the show. Let me be that conversation. Let me talk you off the ledge. Let me connect you with some folks that can help. Because at the end of the day, and by the way, I'm going to have an amazing guest here coming up. He's a doctor. He's a hypnotherapist. He works a lot with, and he would like to work with more combat veterans or veterans as a whole. So he will be on our show here pretty soon. I'm just kind of dropping the seed on that as well. But that way, because at the end of the day, nobody here wants you to commit suicide. Nobody wants you to be another statistic. So hit us up on the show because your life matters. And we rather be talking with you than saying a speech or at your funeral or a eulogy. So anyways, folks, that's it for today. I think I'm going to end Dex over here. So with that being said, Ais Tomas, Daisuki. I'll see you next week. Yat, hurrah, get some.